Now, here's a home-style recipe that your kids will not only love, but they'll also get a vitamin-packed supercharge from. This Doritos Southwest Meatloaf recipe is pictured here, served with mashed potato baked surprise, another vitamin-packed dish I love. My kids absolutely love meatloaf with ketchup as well, and this meatloaf is no different, even though it's very different. Be sure to preheat the oven to 425 degrees before you begin. First, you've got to start with the prep work for this dish. And don't worry, because slicing and dicing is as hard as it gets. Start with an onion. I like to use a large brown onion for this meatloaf. Dice it into small pieces so it'll mix easily and cook tenderly. Then shred the carrots. Measure out the corn and prep the Doritos. You can use whatever kind of Doritos you like, but I happen to like the original nacho cheese flavor for this dish. Put the 5 handfuls of chips into a sealable bag, seal it, and smash it with any flat object. You know what? My kids really love to do this part for me. Now, in a saucepan, melt the 4 tablespoons of butter over medium-high heat. Then add the onion and cook for about 5 minutes or until the onion begins to soften and become transparent. Next, take your bag of frozen chopped spinach, or fresh chopped if you prefer, and add it to your saucepan. Turn the heat down to medium and cover the pan to cook the spinach down. This will take about 7 minutes. Make sure that you stir it occasionally. The spinach and onion are done when the spinach is wilted and the onions are semi-transparent and soft. Then, in a large mixing bowl, begin mixing the ingredients together. Start with the ground beef and add the Worcestershire sauce, salt, and garlic powder. When adding the pepper, chili powder, and finally your seasoned salt, use your judgment as to how much to add. Some kids like a little more spice with their food and some don't. So think about who will be eating it when you are deciding how much to add, since with these particular spices, a little can go a long way. Then add the other ingredients, the corn, carrots, sautéed onion and spinach, and mix roughly with a large fork. Finally, start mixing the last ingredients, the barbecue sauce, ketchup, and eggs. Keep in mind, use an extra egg for fluffier meatloaf. Lastly, add the cheese and Doritos. Now mix it with your hands. Avoid over-mixing the meat, but you do want to mix it until all the ingredients are thoroughly blended. You don't want part of your meatloaf to have Doritos and part of it to have none. Then, pour the mixture into a large casserole dish. Now, if your oven has already been preheated to 425 degrees, go ahead and put the dish into the oven and bake for 45 minutes. Once your meatloaf has baked thoroughly, let it set at room temperature for about 15 minutes before serving. My kids just love meatloaf, and you'll love giving it to them with this recipe since it's packed with tons of vitamins and minerals. Serve it with mashed potatoes and ketchup for a super kid-friendly touch. Check out the recipe for mashed potato baked surprise, which is pictured here next to the meatloaf. Happy cooking, everyone!